Hi class, so I am here to just give you a tutorial. Okay, your instructor for this semester is Kevin Fab, but I am going to walk you through how the class is set up. I'm going to help you out a little bit with McGraw-Hill and getting you started in McGraw-Hill and hopefully answer any questions that you have. So when you log into class, this is kind of the format, the layout that you should see. You see your welcome announcement here. We're going to click on content. And so this is where you're going to find all of your information. So you can see our table of contents is fully loaded here with 132 items. Your syllabus and course schedule is here. There's some resources here for you, office hour information. And then our class is divided into 4 modules. And there are a couple folders in each one, or sections. So for week 1, you can see there's a description of the chapter and some learning objectives. And then we have readings, videos, and resources. And then we have something called work to complete. You're always going to want to click on readings, videos, and resources first, because on occasion you may find videos or information links that relate to your assignments, okay? So if you click on an assignment and you're not seeing everything you need for that assignment, there's a good chance you're going to find it in this readings, videos, and resources. So we're going to click on that first, and you will see PowerPoint information. This is a PDF journal article for you. This is another just kind of introduction link to video to watch about personality theory, kind of what we'll be learning about in this class. We'll go back here to week 1. Let me switch this to student view. Okay, go back into content. All right, so this is your readings, videos, and resources, and then you can see you have 2 assignments. Your assignments in this class are always due on Sunday night, with the exception of a discussion, okay? Your discussion questions technically have 2 due dates, but the system only lets us set it as 1 due date. So you will always see it in here at the Sunday night, but I want you, for the semester, to always submit your first discussion post by Wednesday, 11:59 on Wednesday, and then do the 2 replies on Sunday. So we're going to click on the self-reporting discussion. You see the reminder here. Your initial discussion is due on Wednesday, 2 replies to your peers on Sunday. Okay, you have to start the thread here in order to see the other students' posts and things. There's a rubric. It is the same rubric for every discussion post. So read the rubric, get to know it, get familiarized with it, so that you can get a sense of what it is that you're supposed to do for responses in here. You can see to get the full points under the quality of the post. Obviously, content is important, right? But you should have a post that's at least this long, right? Provide examples, definitions, anything like that that you find relevant. The responses to your peers, remember you should always have 2 replies, should be approximately that length, right? Give or take a little bit, but make sure you're writing like a substantial reply to your participants. Try and avoid things like, oh, great work on your post. I really, loved reading it. Nice job. Try and put a little bit more thought. Maybe you found a really cool video or another article that related to the material this week. Could you share that information with your classmates? All right, so try and get a little creative sometimes in your posts, and try and further the discussion and elaborate more on what it is that you're learning about that week. You don't have discussions every week. You have them multiple times, many of the weeks, but you will not have one every single week. The organization, structure, grammar stuff, obviously proofread your posts before you post them. Make sure that they make sense. Sometimes reading them out loud can help, catch any errors. And then you always want 2 APA formatted references. So you can see how the point breakdown changes throughout the this kind of level of the rubric. If you have your 2 APA citations here, you're great. If you got no spelling errors, no grammatical mistakes, you're great. If you have your 2 references, but maybe they're not quite formatted right, then we're looking at this column. If you've got some errors in your writing, will be in this column. If you only post like your textbook and no other sources, then you're automatically in this column because there's only one reference. And obviously if there's a lot of errors in your writing, grammatical and things, then you'd be in this section. If you don't include any references at all, then you're automatically in the 0 points for this section. You absolutely have to include your references. And part of that deals with plagiarism, right? We don't want to plagiarize our work. We want to make sure that we're giving credit to the appropriate sources, one being your textbook, and the other one also being your whatever other information you have. So the things that you find in like the readings, videos, and resources, that might be great to post, right? For, your second reference each week. Okay? Or like I said, if you find something else, great, post it, give us the reference, share that information. Posting a link, a website link, is not referencing your sources. You have to format them in APA style. Okay, so don't just put the link in there and call it a day, because you have to format it. The last section of the rubric is your timeliness. So if you get all your posted on time, the first one by Wednesday and the 2 replies by Sunday, you've got all your points. If you're late on something, then we're looking at, going down in points. If you don't post it at all, depending on the late work policy, you might not get any points if you post it late. You might get something, every instructor is a little bit different with that. So that's your rubric. Okay, so you've got the 4 sections, content matters, length matters, and, your APA sources and timeliness is the main idea of, what you want to follow for your discussions. All right, we're going to go back under table of contents. And you can see there's a McGraw-Hill launch button here. This will take you in to register for McGraw-Hill. And so I'm going to open this video from McGraw-Hill and just kind of talk about it a little bit, because when I launch into this, it looks a little different on our end as instructors than it does on student end. So we're going to look at it over here for the student part. So we'll hit play on this. And so what you're going to see here is, they click on the launch button in your class, and then it's going to ask you to enter your email, right? So you put your email in. If you've bought a code, great. Put that in. If you haven't bought a code yet, then you can purchase it right then and there, right? If you've never created your McGraw-Hill account, this is what the page will look like. It'll walk you through your steps, create your password, email, name, all that information. If you have your code, like I said, great, put it in. If not, it'll give you the option to purchase your code right then and there. Otherwise, if you get in early in the semester, it'll give you that temporary access, but this third column here, this temporary access, will disappear after the semester begins. So if you want that temporary access for the first 2 weeks, then you want to get on that right away so that you get that access, okay? But this gives everybody, at least 2 weeks to get in, even if you haven't purchased your Connect information yet, or password, or Connect access yet. You can at least go in and get started and not miss any assignments or anything like that, okay? Once you put in your access code, or you've purchased access, or you've started your temporary trial, then you should be able to get into the textbook. You only have to do this kind of registration process one time, and then you're in. So we're going to go into, let's scroll down a little bit and click on an assignment. Let's go into week 4. And let's click on Smartbook, chapter 5. I just want to give you a sense of what it looks like once you're in. So we're going to click launch. And we're going to click preview so that you guys can see what it looks like. Launch Smartbook. If there's anything like the system's not loading or there's errors on the page, there's a help desk with McGraw-Hill you can reach out to. They are local to the Chicagoland area, so they are great at helping you get your laptops, computers set up, making sure that the pages load properly, that you clear your cookies or adjust your settings. So they're real good working with students. So reach out to them if you have, any technical issues. If you have content related questions, yes, please bring that to your instructors. But any technical issues with your computers in the system, please reach out to McGraw-Hill for that. You can see that this assignment, on average, takes students about 45 minutes there's 24 concepts that you're learning that all relate to chapter 5 is the one I clicked on. You can choose to start reading, which is always recommended because if you read your textbook first, you're more likely to do good on the assignment, but it also might decrease the amount of time that you have to spend in here. Or you can click on start questions. Whichever one you click on, that's obviously your choice. But if we click on start, it's automatically going to take you into your textbook. You've got the table of contents up here. You can bounce around in your textbook, right? But otherwise, it's going to, this is just as if you had a printed copy of your textbook, okay? We're going to click on the case studies are always interesting to read, the closer look. We're going to click on 2 questions. I'm going to say, got it. Okay, so you can see this is a multiple choice question. Sometimes you're going to see multiple choice. You might see true, false. You might see like a drag and drop where you put things in order. You might see like a fill in the blank. Okay, there's different types, different styles of questions in here. And this is personalized to you and your performance. So, everybody grasps concepts differently. Some students struggle with some things, but not with others. And so this is really tailored to meet you and your level of learning and where you're at with understanding the material. You can always choose to read about the concept. If you click read about the concept, it's automatically going to take you to that part of the book where that question relates to. Okay. Otherwise, we can go back into the assignment. We want to choose an answer, right? So we're just going to randomly, I didn't even read the question. We're just going to randomly choose this one. And down here, it says rate your confidence. And what this tells the system, and you want to try and be honest with it. Like if your confidence is high and you're like, yes, I got this, I know this, I've mastered it, I have to be right. And you're super sure, then click high. If you're like, I think this is right, I'm really not sure, maybe, then click medium. If you absolutely don't know it at all, click low. Okay. And what this tells the system, like let's say we said our confidence level is high, but oops, we got it wrong. What that tells the system is, they don't know it as well as they think they know it. And so you can see these bars up here where it says 0 of 24 concepts completed. There's nothing filled in because we got it wrong. Okay. If we had gotten it right, we'd see a little bit of blue fill in. So it told us we're wrong. It also gave us the correct answer. What's going to happen is the system is going to ask you the same type of question, but it's going to ask you maybe in a different format and a true false and a fill in the blank and something else later on down the line until you master it. So let's click next question. And so again, it's going to ask you to pick your choice. So let's say stability. Let's say we're medium confidence. Okay, we got it right. So this tells the system, well, they weren't too sure. Maybe we should ask them again. You might see something like this pop up again because our confidence level, wasn't really there. But we got a little bit of a blue mark, right? You will get full points on these assignments, providing this whole, bars up here are filled in. Once you've filled these in, then you're done with the assignment. And it's not always instantaneous, but the system will, eventually transfer your points into the gradebook in Brightspace. Okay. But let's say, you got 20 questions wrong, right? It's not going to take off points. It's still going to give you the full points as long as you've mastered the concepts and you've gotten all these filled in. So it's not marking off for wrong answers, but it keeps asking you questions or different type of questions until you get the information right. But you can always choose to read about the concept before you answer the question if you want. What else do you need to know about this? The spelling. So sometimes, see if it gives us a fill in the blank. It does. So sometimes if we spell things wrong, right, it'll catch some spelling mistakes, but not all spelling mistakes. So another kind of personality stability is constancy of level or what. So it tells us right here, right? It brings us right to mean level stability or mean level change, right? You can read about what that is. You can go back to the questions. So obviously we're going to type in mean level, right? Mean level stability. So we're going to spell mean wrong. We're going to put MEEN, and then we're going to spell level correct. We're going to say that we have high confidence because we just looked it up, so we know we're absolutely right. And Oh, it gave it wrong. Oh, I'm surprised it didn't catch the spelling. Most of the time, it'll catch the spelling. I guess the system's not perfect though, is it? So yeah, most of the time it'll get your spelling fine, and then it'll tell you how to spell it, what the correct spelling is. So I guess it didn't check that one though. But most of the time it'll still give you the credit for it, but it'll ask you or give you the correct spelling for it. So that usually happens, all right? But of course, the system has to prove me wrong tonight. So we'll just click on one of these. We'll say medium confidence. Oops, we got it wrong. It tells us the answer. Select the concept resource to continue. Before moving on, you must review a resource, right? And so we can click on review resource. We can click on read about the concept. It's going to take us to that part of the book where it talks about it. We can go back to the questions, and then it'll let us go to the next question. So really what the system wants you to do, spend time reading, spend time learning the material. You can always go back into the textbook. We can always bounce into the questions, but we want to get this bar filled, and then we know we're done and we've got our full points and we're good to go. Okay, back into table of contents. Let's open up our syllabus. So you can see your syllabus here. Oh, it didn't load quite right. But unless that's just on my end where it's not loading. But we may need to repost this here. Anyway, so it gives you your dates, your information, your activity for grades posted a little different. This gives you office hour information. This gives you the information for the textbook. Tells you, yes, you need the access card. About how long you can expect on emails. Grades are typically updated weekly. There's a diversity statement. A lot of this you can just read yourself. Plagiarism, do your own work, right? Don't copy and paste without citing those sources, especially in your discussions, right? Make sure you're referencing what you need to. If there's any students with disability that needs accommodations, just reach out to your instructor and email that information. And the instructor will always work with students. So your instructor's email, I can't really see it at the top here, but it's kbad. But this will get fixed. kbad at elgin.edu, kbab at elgin.edu. So let's scroll down a little bit. Let's just kind of general information. Late work, you can see there's a late work policy here. So, if you get behind, if you know you're going to be late, always keep communication. And I say this with any instructor that you have, whether it's a psychology class, math class, science class, but always reach out to your teachers. Even those that have a late work policy, we're like, no, I'm not accepting any late work. There's, no exceptions to the rule. Always reach out, okay? And you let the instructor know what's going on, and, you can work together to determine how to proceed moving forward. You can see the 10% each day plus the due date. If you don't inform the instructor or reach out to the instructor, just keep the lines of communication open, okay? Always look for those two folders, readings, videos, and resources, work to complete, so that you know you have everything. It's always best to take a look at the information early on in the semester, early on in the week. Read through everything Monday or Tuesday or even Sunday night, and get a sense of what's due, what the requirements are. If you have questions, it takes a day or two sometimes to get a response from an instructor, not just in this class, but in any class. So don't wait till the last minute to ask questions. Always review the information early in the week, ask questions if needed, and that way you've got time and nobody's feeling rushed and stressed out at the end of the week. Generally speaking, an online course, you spend about 10 to 12 hours a week, for that class, reading, doing assignments, emailing, questions, discussions, things like that. That's, pretty typical of any online class. Don't email assignments. Make sure everything gets submitted in D2L in Brightspace. And sorry about the dog there. And then also no Google Docs, and make sure that you submit as a .doc, a .docx, a .rtf, even a PDF if you have to. Don't do anything Mac, dot pages. Those don't ever open. Don't send any Google Docs, because often those are restricted and we don't have access to open those. So make sure that you are submitting something that is compatible to a PC in your classes. And that's probably going to be true for almost all your classes, okay? Because there's not a whole lot of instructors that have the Mac accessibility, right? So always make sure that something opens on a PC or laptop. This is the grading center breakdown. You can see we've got some issues with that. Let's see if I can get that fixed. And then your course schedule. So this is, I always tell students, print your course schedules, use them as a checklist. Once you read the chapter, check it off. Once you've read the PowerPoint, check it off. Once you've read the article, check it off. Not only does it give you a sense of accomplishment, right? We're psych people, we like to, feel that sense of, completion when we do things. It gives us this feel good, response and kind of attitude, and like we're accomplishing and we're making progress. Check off your assignments as you go. This gives you the breakdown, the point value of what each assignment is worth, and then you'll see your due date reminders. So you'll always see the, Sunday, 8/29 is next Sunday, 11/29. These are the two things due. Remember that your first initial post has to be done by Wednesday night. And that is, going to be true for every discussion throughout the semester. Here you can see we've got chapter 4, we've got a couple assignments and your exam, right? So your exam is going to be on chapters 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to have that to do by Sunday as well. So there's no discussion this week, but you have the personality reflection, the Smartbook chapter, and then the exam to do that week. Your exams are 2 points each, 50 multiple choice questions, and they do have a time limit, okay? So make sure that you are, when you start the test, that you are in a position to finish the test, because you can't start it and then decide, no, I'm going to have to finish this later. Once you start it, you get one shot and you absolutely have to finish it at the same time. So make sure you're allowing enough time. And also, I think that, I can't recall offhand, the tests are 75 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours. I can't remember how long you get for your exams. But don't start them like at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night when they're due at 11:59, because you're not going to have time to finish that test in that hour. And, there's a good chance that the system's going to lock you out and you're not going to be able to complete your exam and may not even get credit for what you did do. So give yourself enough time during that week to make sure you can sit and do the exams as you go. There's nothing that's really cumulative in terms of exams other than, you do a bunch of chapters at once. So exam 2, you can see, is chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then, we're not going to retest you on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? And so it's like you do the chapters, take the exam, do the chapters, take the exam. So we do that 4 times. So your final exam, even though it says final exam, it's not cumulative over the whole book. It's just, whatever you did in module 4 at the end of the class. So you typically have 2 or 3 assignments every week. We do double up here a little bit, and you can see week 11, we're going to do 2 chapters that week. So there's a little bit more work that's going on. So like I said, always look ahead of time to make sure that you have enough time to get the work done and get any questions you have answered. Here you can see there's 3 assignments and an exam that week. So, always look ahead to see what's coming up and what's available. And then the finals week, you can see it's just the last 4 chapters, and this is going to be due Tuesday that week, right? So we don't have the full week. So you're going to submit the work for chapter 17 on that Sunday, and then your exam is due by that Tuesday, okay? We have your course schedule here. So this is kind of a nice printable version if you want. You're welcome to print that out, and use that. That's the same thing that I just showed you that's in your syllabus. Takes a minute to load here, but it's the same thing that was in your syllabus. You can always access McGraw-Hill through this button, or like I showed you, you can click on the different assignments in the chapter folders, right, in order to access McGraw-Hill stuff. Resources, you've got an APA template, you've got examples of references, an APA style introduction, you've got links to the different sources in ECC, the library, the tutoring, the writing place. This is another helpful link with the writing. So there's different options to assist with learning how to cite in APA style. Let's see this references example. I think there's something else I want to show you. Okay, so this is like an APA style reference, so you can kind of get a sense of what it looks like when you're doing a paper. Or citing things are always double spaced, Times New Roman font, 12-point font, all that. A lot of students use I don't know, does Grammarly do it? EasyBib does, I know, to cite, but I'm going to show you this since we're on here and I'm making this video for you. You can see it's highlighted in blue because we built the references here in Word. And the Word is not updated to the APA 7th edition. In references, I really don't think it's much of a difference. There are some changes between the 6th and 7th edition, and you might need to ask your instructor for clarification as to what they want or if they have a preference. But I'm going to show you how to do this because the references, I think is easier when you build them like this. If you use the reference tab here, the nice thing about the reference tab is it stores anything that's been done on your computer. So if you're going to have to cite a bunch of things, let's open a new document, cite a bunch of things or cite the textbook over and over in your discussions, right? Build them in here and let the system do it for you. So click on references. You can see our system automatically says APA, right? There's other options too for those of you in English classes for MLA, but for Psych, you always want to do APA. We're going to click Insert Citation. We're going to click Add New Source. We're going to click on Book. You can choose a journal article. You can choose your website. You can choose a film, an interview. If you're in a site like a YouTube video, you could click on website. Put the name of the website as YouTube. Whatever the title of the video is that you're watching and whatnot. So let's go back up. So let's pretend that we're going to cite a book. We're going to say your author's name is Bab because that's Kevin's last name. And we're going to put that in. So you just need the first initial of the name. If you were going to do a second author or if there's multiple authors, you would click Edit. We'll add my last name in here. And so you would just keep clicking Add for however many authors you want to cite. We're going to click OK. We're going to put we'll just put personality theories in here. We're going to say 2021. We're just going to say Elgin, and we're just going to say, let's just say Elgin Community College. Community College. Okay. We put all the information in, just like if we were going to do it on some other source, like EasyBib or something. When we click OK, it's our in-text citation. And so this is what you would do if you were going to paraphrase something, from your textbook and use it, then we would click on and put this information. So instead of, shift and parenthesis and typing it all out, we're just going to do it like this. You can do this again. Here, let's backspace out of this. It's up here. So as you're typing your papers, your discussions, whatever it is, click on it, drops it right in. If you do a direct quote and you have to add page numbers, click on Edit Citation, type in your page numbers, and it's going to update it for you. And so I always say, references, it's so much easier if you build them first this way and, do your work in Word. Even if you do a discussion and you write directly into the, prompt, into the thread, which is totally fine, always save your work. And, I'm an instructor at ECC too, and I kid you not, it was a couple terms ago or a year or so ago, towards the end of the semester, everything got deleted. All the students' work. I don't know what happened, a glitch in the system, something. Grades thankfully stayed, but everything that the students submitted was gone. And it wasn't a problem except for the items I hadn't graded yet. And the items that I hadn't graded, the students had to resubmit. If they did them in a Word document and saved the Word document, great. If they wrote them right into the system, they unfortunately had to redo some of that. So I always tell students to save a copy of your work somewhere, at least till the semester ends. So this is just your in-text citation. So to get the full reference, we would go up here to bibliography. For APA, it's always references, never bibliography, never works cited. We're going to click references, and bam, there it is. We didn't have to do anything else, but just click the button and it shows up. And that's what your reference would look like. For APA, we don't have this template up to APA, but you should make sure that everything is Times New Roman. We still like to use 12-point font for the most part. this is what your reference would look like, your reference page on a document. So like I said, once you build it into your system, into your computer, your laptop, whatever, it saves it. So if I were to save this file, this reference would always be here. So when we go to open a new document, we can click on references, manage sources. We can find what we just did, transfer it into a new document, and now we don't have to rebuild it. It's just here to use again. And so as you start replicating sources and using them over and over again, most of these are examples of what I've done with students over the years, but we'll just throw a few of them in here. So I didn't have to rebuild everything I did. I just, they're already here. So I can just, reuse them. Click on bibliography, references, and there they are. Let's say there's a spelling error, like we want to take off, let's say we want to say personality theory instead of theories. We just edit it like this, change our spelling, click OK. It'll ask you if you want to update the current list and the master list here on the left. We say yes, and it updated both. And we can click update, and there's our update. And so it did it again for us here and change theory to theories. So we can always go in and edit things. We can move stuff over. We can say we don't want to use this one. We can put it back. So there's lots of options that we can do under manage sources. So that's just some information to share with you all on how to do your references. A suggestion to you. And you will also see the exams pop up in your folders. So you can see exam 1 due September 12th. So you'll see them all as we go. And then your final exam, is due at the end of the semester by December 14th, which is just on the last few chapters. All right, so that is it. I just wanted to walk you through and give you a sense of where everything is. Feel free to reach out to your instructor, Professor Babb, and he will be more than happy to answer any further questions and help you out this semester. Have a great one. Enjoy your classes, and be sure to read your book. Take care.